When it comes to trading, so many of us want to be a full-time trader. We want to be able to look at our charts and sit at our charts all day in our pajamas with a cup of coffee. But reality is, so many people have full-time commitments and they can't afford to be at their charts all day. Well, that is the video we have today. How can you balance full-time trading or wanting to be a full-time trader with other full-time commitments? There's only 24 hours in the day, guys. Let's go. Welcome back to one of our trading fundamentals videos. My name is Christian from Blue Effects, and today we've got a fantastic video on how you can balance your trading with a full-time commitment. That might be studying, might be working full-time, might be plenty of other commitments that you can have which stops you from being able to be at your charts for as much as you'd like. Now, this video topic was suggested by one member of our Blue Effects community group on Facebook. And he said that he had joined us in March after the pandemic, just like so many people have done. And he said that he's come out of the market and is looking forward to getting back involved next year. But the important part is that he has been struggling with how to juggle a full-time commitment, in his case work, a full-time job, like it is for so many people, with trading as well. Well, that is the topic of this video, and I've got a few tips. It's a topic close to my heart as well, something that I've had to deal with personally, about trading and working full-time. And we're going to break this down. I've got a few bits of advice that I can give on things that will make your life easier, less stressful, and ways that you can get the best from both. We're on this trading journey. We need to start with what we've got, and if we're juggling a full-time job with trading, then so be it. We're going to make it work, and that's the most important thing. We're going to make it happen. We're going to dedicate ourselves to learning trading, and we're going to make the appropriate sacrifices where we can. Let's get straight into this. Leads me on to my first tip. Now, here's one thing I'll mention first. When we look at trading on a social media front, or perhaps in films or other media sources in general, we often see trading as a very fast-paced, quick activity where if you're not at your charts all the time, you're going to miss out on that trade. You're in and out of trades every other minute. You're taking 100 positions at once. That is what trading is supposed to look like, or that's what we're led to believe anyway. But that's not necessarily the case. Some of that can be very true. Trading can be a very volatile and quick activity to be involved in. It's not for the faint-hearted. But it's not always like that. You know, the markets aren't always super active. We have certain moments of volatility, certain moments where we're a bit slower in the markets. But what I mean to say is this. When we trade in time frames. Some of us, the scalpers amongst us, will trade a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, for example. And some of the longer term traders, they'll trade the hour, the 4-hour, even the daily. In fact, I use the daily personally myself, and I'll explain why. Because the daily, it gave me my time back. Now, generally in trading, for many people's system, this is a good rule and advice to follow, is that you should always wait for that candle to close before you take a trade. So if you're waiting for a candle to close before you're able to enter a trade, that means if you're trading a 5-minute chart, you can only trade every 5 minutes. You can only place a trade every 5 minutes. And if you're trading the daily chart, it means only every one day you're able to place a trade. And that's what I did. That's how I got my time back. I think here in the UK, the daily chart closes on some platforms around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I was at my screens for that time every weekday I could be. And it meant that I didn't have to worry so much about watching the charts all the time, because I knew that it doesn't matter what the markets are doing. Even if I've got a trade on, my stop loss, my take profit are in place. I've got a good risk structure. I've got a system behind me. That's doing all the hard work. All I have to worry about is finding those entries. And again, my system is helping me again. My indicators are telling me when to enter, when to exit. A lot of the hard work and thinking was done for me in that sense. But I only need to be at my charts once a day. That was it. I traded those high time frames. I was hesitant at first, but you know, when I started to see that actually this is such an easy way to trade, it takes the stress away completely. I can still be involved in the markets. I can still have an idea of what's going on in the markets. I can still follow all the news, but I won't have to be at my charts every day. I can apply myself to other things, even on leisure things, right? Even on more just things I wanted to do, not so much things I had to do as far as my work was concerned. I had my time back, and that was the power that higher time frames gave me. And I think if you can get away from that conception that it's slow or you can't make any decent money quickly, which I think is absolutely not true, but just have that patience, I promise you, it's going to make your life a lot easier, especially if you've got other full-time commitments. So that is my first tip for you, to trade some higher time frames. Second thing I'll say is something I just touched on a minute ago, is trading a system. Because when you trade a system, and when you have parameters that you can only trade within, the criteria that mean that you can only trade if this says this, that's doing that, otherwise, no trade. That takes a lot of the thinking and the subjectivity, that's a hard one to say, subjectivity out of the trade. It's not I think, it's I can't trade at the moment because I've tested this system, I've back tested this system, and I know that if I take a system not following this rule, there is a lower likelihood of me having a successful and profitable trade. Having a system is a way that saves you a lot of time in so many different ways. For me, honestly, when I was using the daily chart and I had a system, I would just come to my charts, honestly, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, look at the charts, that's it. I'd have perhaps 5, 6, 7 currency pairs. I started with 27, but I decided that I wanted to focus on just a few. I'd look, I go across my MT4 platform, I click them all open, and I look at what the indicators were saying, and only if I got the readings from the indicators will I then open up my charts and have a proper look at the price action. Because I know that if I want to win a trade, I need to follow my system, because that was what my backtesting was all about. And this leads me very, very nicely onto my third and final point on how you can balance your trading career, your trading ambitions with full-time commitments. And that is to backtest. Use time outside of trading hours. There's so many things that you can be doing to improve yourself as a trader that isn't just trading the markets. This is where your education comes in. We've touched on that before here on the channel. This is where your backtesting comes in. It's not the sexy and the exciting stuff. It's not cashing in 100 pips on the cable. But what it is doing is securing you a better future as a trader and having the discipline to go back, test, do the hard work, do the boring things, because you know that it's going to benefit you down the road. It's an investment in itself, right? I'm sure you've heard that word a lot in this sort of trading and forex space, investment, right? But you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your trading longevity and consistency. So if you're working 9 to 5 and you simply can't find the time to trade, and you don't want to trade a smaller time frame, or a large time frame, excuse me, well, what I can suggest to you is the time that you do have, perhaps that's in the evening, perhaps that's on the weekends, use it to backtest, use it to educate yourself, use it to build that system. And this is the long part, it's the part that takes the longest. That backtesting takes a long time if you do it properly. But the point is, there's always something you can be doing to improve your trading. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be actively trading the markets, even on a demo account. You don't have to be there, but there's things that you can do at any time of the day, at any hour, at any notice to improve your trading for the long term. And this is the thing as well. The markets are global. The markets are global. There's something happening in the markets, especially within Forex, 24 hours a day within the trading days. Of course, it's closed at the weekends, but when the London session finishes, then you move on to the New York session. Then you move on to the Japanese session. So my point is this, there's always something happening and there's always going to be some volatility in the markets. Perhaps there's more other times than others, but the point is this, use that volatility, and if there's nothing there that you can't trade and there's nothing happening for you, then use the time that you've got to backtest and build that system and educate yourself. There's so many fantastic resources out there. So please, use the time you've got. Don't make any excuses. There's always something you could be doing to better your trading. And I think that about covers it. It's a topic very close to my heart. It's a very emotional one for me. I remember how things were back then. I didn't want to use the smaller time frames or the higher time frames. I want to stick on the smaller ones. I thought that's where the money was to be made, but actually, as soon as I did this, the stress just left my body. I didn't have to worry so much about these things. I only had to be at my charts for 10 minutes a day, and I think most of us can find 10 minutes in our day if we really try hard enough. And if you have a bit more time, if you have a bit more flexibility in your working day, perhaps you can do the 4 hour. For the lucky ones, perhaps you can do the hourly. You can just look at the charts every hour. But find a style of trading that suits you. That is the most important thing. The markets are here for your taking, right? They're not here to dictate your life. That's the beautiful thing about Forex, and that's how it's sold for so many people on social media, is the fact that you get some freedom. You get to choose when you want to work, because there's always something happening, and find a way that suits you. Don't fit your life around trading, or at least I would advise not to at the very start, when you've got other financial responsibilities, other responsibilities that you need to take care of. So, that being said, as much as this video was inspired by a comment on our Facebook group, you could inspire the next video. Drop a comment down below, get in contact with me through the comments down below, jump on to our Instagram, jump onto our Facebook groups. You are going to find everything you need in the description below. Please check us out, some fantastic comment, and we're a fantastic group and community of people. And we're really here to grow and make trading accessible to everybody. Stay tuned, there's lots more content coming. I've got some fantastic videos. And as I say, you might just inspire the next one. So leave some comments down below and I'll catch you in the next one.